大家好，我是 Jenny， 欢迎来到沉思者 J。 有一个男孩，他戴着一顶米黄色鸭舌帽，他穿着一件朴素的毛衣，身边跟着一只白色的小狗。这个男孩没有父母，没有家乡，没有年龄，却走过了全世界。他去过刚果，他去过中国，他去过月球，他在沙漠迷路，他在海上漂流，他揭露了走私犯，他拯救了囚犯。他是丁丁，而创造丁丁的那个人叫做艾尔吉。1907年，比利时布鲁塞尔，一个叫做乔治雷米的男孩出生了。他的家庭平凡，父亲是个小职员，母亲是个家庭主妇，但这个孩子有一双与众不同的眼睛。他喜欢观察世界，喜欢把看到的一切画下来。小学的时候，他的课本空白处全部是涂鸦，老师批评他，他的父母摇头叹气，但乔治停不下来。那支铅笔就像是他的语言，是他和世界沟通的方式。他后来选择了艾尔吉这个笔名，方法很简单，把自己名字缩写 RG 倒过来念，就变成了法文的 Herge。 这个名字后来成为了20世纪最重要的漫画家之名。1925年，年轻的艾尔吉加入了一份天主教报纸，叫做20世纪报。他在那里做童子军版的负责人，编辑童子军杂志。这份工作改变了他的一生，因为编辑需要填满版面，所以他开始创作连环漫画。1929年1月10日，一个叫做丁丁在苏联的故事开始在报纸上连载。没有人知道这一天会改变漫画史。早期的丁丁故事带着明显的时代色彩。第一集丁丁在苏联是反共宣传，第二集丁丁在刚果充满了殖民主义的偏见。这些作品在今天看来问题非常明显。艾尔吉自己后来也承认，那个时候他还年轻，他的世界观受到了那个年代的限制。他并不以那些早期作品为荣，但他也没有否认他们的存在。这种诚实本身就是一种成熟。真正的改变发生在1934年，艾尔吉遇到了一个改变他视野的人，那个人叫做张充仁，一个在比利时留学的中国艺术学生。两个人一见如故，成为了挚友。张充仁教给艾尔吉真实的中国，不是西方媒体里那个神秘又落后的东方，而是有历史、有文化、有人情的中国。艾尔吉深深受到震撼，他决定在接下来的故事《蓝莲花》里呈现一个真实的中国。他研究中文字，研究中国的历史背景，研究1930年代上海的街道和人物。那个时代的漫画家很少做到这种程度。蓝莲花成了丁丁系列的转捩点。从这一集开始，艾尔吉的世界观打开了。他不再只是填满版面的漫画作者，他成了一个说故事的艺术家。张充仁甚至出现在漫画里，成了丁丁的中国朋友张。这段跨越文化的友谊被艾尔吉永远刻进了纸页。几十年后，1981年，艾尔吉和张充仁在比利时重逢，分别已经超过40年。那一次重逢成了全球媒体的新闻焦点。两个老人相拥而泣，那个场景比任何漫画都更动人。丁丁的世界是一个充满细节的世界。艾尔吉有一个工作方式，叫做资料档案。每一集故事开始之前，他会收集大量的图片和资料，报纸简报、地理杂志、照片、地图、旅行指南。他甚至向各地的领事馆和大使馆请教，确保故事里的每一栋建筑、每一件服装、每一辆车子都符合当时当地的真实情况。他说过一句话，大意是：读者比你想象的聪明得多，如果你撒谎，他们会知道的。这种对细节的执着，让丁丁的故事有一种纪录片的质感，即使故事本身充满了冒险和想象。艾尔吉的画风有一个专有名词，叫做清晰线条，法文是 Ligne Claire。 这种风格的特点是轮廓线条清晰，粗细一致，颜色干净，没有过多的阴影或质感表现。人物造型简单，背景却精致写实。 这种对比创造了一种奇妙的效果，简单的人物让读者容易带入，写实的背景让故事有了重量。清晰线条后来影响了整整一个世代的欧洲漫画家，成为比利时漫画学派的核心美学。丁丁的朋友们都是鲜活的个性，白雪是那只白色的小猎狗，聪明、忠诚，偶尔爱喝酒，他是丁丁最忠实的伙伴。卡斯达费尔教授是一个天才科学家，同时也是一个几乎聋了的老人，说话充满了奇特的误解和错误，每次出场都让人又好笑又心疼。双胞胎侦探汤普森和汤姆森，外形几乎一模一样，却老是弄出各种乌龙。他们是这个系列里喜剧感最强的角色。还有那个脾气暴躁的哈达哥船长，大嗓门，爱喝酒，满嘴奇怪的咒骂语，但内心其实善良。这些角色不是配角，他们是丁丁世界的灵魂。1950年代是艾尔吉最辉煌的年代。1953年出版的《奔向月球》和《月球探险》比阿波罗登月早了整整16年。艾尔吉在那个年代就描绘了宇宙服，描绘了月球的无重力环境，描绘了火箭的内部结构。这些描绘的科学准确度让后来真正登月的太空人都感到惊讶。美国阿波罗计划的太空人曾经说，阅读丁丁是他们童年最重要的科学启蒙。一本漫画书，让孩子们在登月成真之前，就已经在月球上走过一遍。艾尔吉的一生并不只有光荣。他继续在被德国占领的比利时出版丁丁，这个决定后来让他受到很多批评。有人说他是在帮助纳粹政权的宣传，战后他甚至因此被短暂逮捕，但调查后发现，他并没有主动配合纳粹，他的丁丁故事里也没有任何政治宣传的内容，他只是想继续创作。这种暧昧的历史，让艾尔吉的形象更加复杂。他不是圣人，他是一个在困难时代里挣扎的普通人。艾尔吉的婚姻生活也充满了波折，他的第一段婚姻很不快乐。他在工作中遇到了一位年轻的女士，叫做芬妮，他们相爱了。这段感情让艾尔吉陷入了巨大的道德困境，他最终选择了离婚。在那个保守的天主教比利时社会里，这个决定需要极大的勇气。他后来与芬妮结婚，据说那是他一生中最快乐的时光。晚年的艾尔吉开始对东方哲学产生了兴趣，特别是佛教和禅宗。他的最后一部作品叫做《丁丁与艺术》，从未完成。在这部故事里，丁丁开始追寻一个梦境的意义，那个梦境里充满了神秘的意象。有人说，艾尔吉想在最后一部作品里探讨他自己内心深处的困惑，那些关于身份、关于意义、关于创作的永恒问题。1983年3月3日，艾尔吉在布鲁塞尔去世，享年75岁。丁丁与艺术永远停留在第42页，那个未完成的结局，让人心疼，也让人着迷。丁丁翻译成超过70种语言，在全世界超过50个国家出版，销量超过2亿5千万册。这个数字超过了大多数的文学名著。但丁丁的影响力不只是销量，在刚果，人们用丁丁这个名字称呼外国人。在中国，张充仁的故事让几代中国读者对比利时怀抱着特殊的感情。在印度，在巴西，在非洲，在欧洲每一个角落，都有人在那顶鸭舌帽下看见了一个相似的世界。艾尔吉创造了欧洲叙事漫画的语言，在他之前，漫画是报纸角落的消遣品；在他之后，漫画可以是文学，可以是历史，可以是哲学。他让整个世界重新思考，一个故事可以用什么形式来说。今天我们熟知的图像小说，那种严肃的图像叙事，都有艾尔吉的影子。布鲁塞尔今天有一座艾尔吉博物馆，那栋建筑本身就是一件艺术品，由建筑师克里斯提昂德波特来设计。整栋建筑向清晰线条风格致敬，干净的白色墙面，清晰的轮廓，精确的几何感。走进那栋建筑，就像走进了艾尔吉的脑袋。 走进了那个线条清晰的世界。丁丁是一个永远的少年，他永远不会老，永远不会死。他停在了那个戴着鸭舌帽的姿势里，永远准备出发，永远对下一个冒险感到好奇。也许这就是艾尔吉最伟大的创造，不是那些精致的线条，不是那些精确的细节，而是那种永远向前的精神，那种相信世界是值得探索的信念。艾尔吉曾经说过，丁丁就是他想成为的人，勇敢，永远好奇，永远向善。也许我们每一个人心里都有一个戴着鸭舌帽的男孩，等待着下一场冒险。感谢你今天陪着 Jenny 走进了艾尔吉的世界，走进了那条清晰的线条，走进了那个永远向前的故事。我们下次见咯。 Hello everyone, I'm Jenny. Welcome to Thinker J. There is a boy. He wears a beige flat cap. He dresses in a simple sweater. A little white dog trots faithfully by his side. This boy has no parents, no hometown, no age. And yet he has traveled the entire world. He has been to the Congo. He has been to China. He has been to the moon. He has been lost in the desert. He has drifted at sea. He has exposed smugglers. He has rescued prisoners. His name is Tintin, and the man who created him was called Herge. In 1907, in Brussels, Belgium, a boy named Georges Remi was born. His family was ordinary. His father was a minor clerk. His mother was a homemaker. But this boy had eyes that saw the world differently. He loved to observe everything around him. He loved to draw whatever he saw. In primary school, every blank margin of every textbook was covered in his doodles. Teachers scolded him. His parents shook their heads. But Georges could not stop. That pencil was his language. It was the way he communicated with the world. He later chose the pen name Herge through a beautifully simple method. He took his initials RG, reversed them, and read them aloud in French. The result was Herge. That name would become one of the most important in the history of comics. In 1925, the young Herge joined a Catholic newspaper called Le 20e siècle, meaning the 20th century. He was placed in charge of the Boy Scout supplement, editing a magazine aimed at young readers. That job changed his life forever. Because editors need to fill pages, he began creating serialized comic strips. On January 10, 1929, a story called Tintin in the Land of the Soviets began appearing in the newspaper. No one knew on that day that comics history was being made. The early Tintin stories carried the unmistakable markings of their era. The first installment, Tintin in the Land of the Soviets, was essentially anti-communist propaganda. The second, Tintin in the Congo, was filled with colonialist bias. Seen from today, the problems in those early works are obvious. Herge himself later admitted that he was young then. His worldview was constrained by the limitations of his time. He was not proud of those early works. But he never denied they existed. That honesty was itself a form of maturity. The real transformation came in 1934. Herge met a man who changed the way he saw the world. That man was Zhang Chongren, a Chinese art student studying in Belgium. The two became instant friends. Zhang taught Herge about the real China. Not the mysterious and backward Orient depicted in Western media, but a China full of history, culture, and human warmth. Herge was deeply moved. He decided that his next story, titled The Blue Lotus, would present a truthful picture of China. He studied Chinese characters. He researched the historical context of China in the 1930s. He studied the streets, architecture, and people of Shanghai during that period. Very few cartoonists of that era went to such lengths. The Blue Lotus became a turning point for the Tintin series. From that story onward, Herge opened up his worldview. He was no longer simply a cartoonist filling newspaper pages. He had become a storyteller and an artist. Zhang Chongren even appeared in the comic itself, as Tintin's Chinese friend Chang. That friendship across cultures was permanently written into the pages by Herge. Decades later, in 1981, Herge and Zhang Chongren were reunited in Belgium. More than 40 years had passed since they last saw each other. Their reunion became global news. Two old men embraced and wept. That moment was more moving than any comic panel either of them had ever created. The world of Tintin is a world of extraordinary detail. Herge had a working method he described as maintaining documentation files. Before beginning each new story, he would collect vast amounts of images and reference material. Newspaper clippings, geographic magazines, photographs, maps, travel guides. He would even consult consulates and embassies for accurate local information. He made sure that every building in his drawings, every item of clothing, every vehicle, matched the actual reality of the time and place. He once said, in his own words expressed through translators, that readers are far more intelligent than you imagine, and if you lie to them, they will know. This obsession with accuracy gave Tintin's stories a quality that felt almost documentary, even when the stories themselves were full of adventure and imagination. Hergé's visual style has its own dedicated term. In French, it is called Ligne Claire, which translates as clear line. The hallmarks of this style include clean and consistent outline strokes, flat and bright colors, minimal shading, simplified character designs set against richly detailed realistic backgrounds. That contrast creates a remarkable effect. The simplified characters allow readers to project themselves into the story. The realistic backgrounds give the world a sense of weight and credibility. Clear line style went on to influence an entire generation of European cartoonists. It became the defining aesthetic of the Belgian comics tradition. The friends who surround Tintin are vivid, living personalities. Snowy is the small white wire fox terrier, intelligent, loyal, and occasionally fond of drinking. He is Tintin's most faithful companion. Professor Calculus is a genius scientist and nearly deaf old man whose conversations are a constant source of comic misunderstanding. Every time he appears, you want to laugh and cry at the same time. The twin detectives Thompson and Thompson look almost identical yet manage to bungle every assignment they are given. They are the series at its most purely comedic. And then there is the irascible Captain Haddock, with his enormous voice, his love of a strong drink, and his spectacular outbursts of invented nonsense curses. But beneath that rough exterior beats a genuinely kind heart. These characters are not background figures. They are the soul of Tintin's world. The 1950s were Hergé's most brilliant decade. The two-part story published in 1953, titled Destination Moon followed by Explorers on the Moon, arrived 16 full years before the Apollo moon landing. Hergé depicted spacesuits, the weightless environment of the lunar surface, and the interior structure of a rocket with remarkable scientific accuracy. Real Apollo astronauts later expressed their astonishment at how precisely those drawings had anticipated what they would actually encounter. American astronauts have spoken about reading Tintin as children and receiving their first real inspiration to think about space exploration. A comic book allowed children to walk on the moon 16 years before it became reality. Hergé's life was not without shadow. During the Second World War, he continued publishing Tintin in German-occupied Belgium. That decision brought him severe criticism after the war ended. Some accused him of assisting Nazi propaganda. He was briefly arrested as a collaborator. But investigation revealed that he had not actively cooperated with the Nazi regime. His Tintin stories during that period contained no political propaganda. He had simply wanted to keep creating. That morally ambiguous chapter of his history makes Hergé a more complex figure. He was not a saint. He was an ordinary person struggling to survive a terrible time. His personal life was also marked by difficulty. His first marriage was deeply unhappy. He fell in love with a young woman he met through his work, named Fanny. Their relationship placed him in an agonizing moral dilemma. He ultimately chose divorce. In the conservative Catholic Society of Belgium at that time, that decision required considerable courage. He later married Fanny, and those years with her are described as the happiest of his life. In his later years, Hergé became deeply interested in Eastern philosophy. He was particularly drawn to Buddhism and Zen. His final work, which he never completed, was called Tintin and All Fart. In that story, Tintin begins pursuing the meaning of a recurring dream filled with mysterious imagery. Some observers have suggested that Hergé was attempting, in his final book, to explore his own deepest uncertainties. Those questions about identity, about meaning, about what it means to create. On March 3, 1983, Hergé died in Brussels at the age of 75. Tintin and All Fart stopped forever on page 42. That unfinished ending is heartbreaking. And it is haunting. Tintin has been translated into more than 70 languages. Published in more than 50 countries. Total sales have exceeded 250 million copies. That figure surpasses the sales of most celebrated works of literature. But the influence of Tintin reaches far beyond sales numbers. In the Congo, people came to use the word Tintin as a term for foreign visitors. In China, the story of Zhang Chongren gave generations of Chinese readers a special warmth toward Belgium. In India, in Brazil, across Africa, in every corner of Europe, readers looked at that flat cap and recognized something that felt like their own world. Hergé created the language of European narrative comics. Before him, comics were a diversion tucked into the corners of newspapers. After him, comics could be literature. Comics could be history. Comics could be philosophy. He made the entire world reconsider what forms a story could take. The graphic novels we take seriously today, the tradition of weighty visual storytelling, all carry Hergé's fingerprints. Brussels is now home to the Hergé Museum. The building itself is a work of art. Designed by architect Christian de Port-Samparc, the entire structure pays homage to the clear line aesthetic. Clean white walls. Precise outlines. A strong sense of geometric clarity. Walking into that building is like walking into Hergé's mind. Walking into that world where every line is clean and everything has its place. Tintin is an eternal boy. He will never age. He will never die. He remains frozen in that pose, flat cap on his head, forever ready to depart. Forever curious about the next adventure. Perhaps that is Hergé's greatest creation. Not those precise clean lines. Not those obsessively researched details. But that spirit of always moving forward. That belief that the world is worth exploring. Hergé once said that Tintin was the person he wished he could be. Brave, honest, endlessly curious, always choosing good. Perhaps each of us carries somewhere inside ourselves a boy in a flat cap, waiting for the next adventure to begin. Thank you for joining Jenny today. For walking with her into Hergé's world. Into those clean, clear lines. Into that story that always, always moves forward. See you next time.